Woohoo! All right. Okay. Okay. So I think we're good to go for our recording piece. Okay. Thank you guys for showing up. I'm so excited you guys are here. Susie, you were so nice to show up for a second week in a row. I'm super excited about today because we're going to go over some movements that people can do before and after their shifts, as well as on their own time, at their home or wherever you may be. So I'm really excited about today. Today is all about movement therapies for hospitality workers. And for those of you that don't know, hospitality workers include not only our restaurant workers, but also our hotel workers as well. Anyone in the hospitality industry, truly, honestly, for today, anybody that is on their feet more often than they're not, which is a lot of us, whether or not you're in the hospitality industry. We're going to go through all of the different joints, different movement patterns today. I'm really excited about it. My hope, my goal is that you are finish this course today with an awareness of different things that you can do for your body, specifically different joint regions, different body muscle or muscle group regions for yourself, both before and after your shift, as well as for recovery. All of these things are important. We're going to go through a lot of different movements today. Let me back up. As you can see, I'm in jeans specifically because I want you guys to be aware that you can do any of these things on your own time, no matter what kind of gear you have, no matter what kind of accessibility you have. So we're going to start out with, let me share my screen really, really quickly. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Okay, share. Let's go. All right. Okay. Can you guys see movement therapies for hospitality workers? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
All right. Okay, good deal. Okay. So last time I did this, we couldn't see anything past this shot. So if you guys don't see a screen past these two people, please let me know. Okay. So working in the service industry, obviously, as you guys know well, can be really tough on your body. So you're working odd hours, you're working on your feet all day, and you're lifting, bending, carrying, straining almost continuously, whether it be your elbows, your wrists, your hips, your knees, your ankles, any joint group, joint movement, you guys are working it all day long. So in terms of occupational health and safety, hospitality workers are considered, honestly, sometimes the most vulnerable over a lot of other workers. Some of those common injuries in hospitality occur in the hands and fingers, around 35%. And this is as of 2015. So this is a little bit outdated, but 35% in the wrist, fingers, and then about 11% in the forearm area and elbow area. As I'm sure you guys are all well aware, you guys are working a lot of these movements right here in the elbow joint, in the wrist joint, in the finger joints, all around here, as well as the shoulder. So doing some of these stretches before or after work every day can help prevent some of these injuries. So in my industry with health and wellness, one of my biggest challenges is getting people to understand the importance of warming up and cooling down. When it comes to warming up and cooling down, a lot of times all we think of is before or after an intense workout. And really what it comes down to is how we're recovering from our body mechanics, from our body movement. So My goal is today, we're going to go through a lot of movements, some of which you can do on site at the store, some of which you may want to do at home where you have a little bit of more movement space. But I will send out a PDF that you can do with all of these movements. And if you guys have any questions moving forward with any of these, I'll just go ahead and say my phone number right now, 801-243-0437. I really, really hope that you guys will reach out to me with any questions about any of the movements that we do today, as well as just any feedback and anything you guys have to add about how your team is doing, what kind of support I can offer as the health and wellness director, or just the leadership team in general. We want to be here for you guys. We really care about you guys as individuals, as people, and we want to be here for you and your team in that way. So that said, moving forward, I'm just going to start going through a lot of these movements. And like I said, I'll send out a PDF for these. My hope is that you can go through these with your team, as well as refer to some of these movements, or refer to myself as the health and wellness director if you guys have team members that could utilize these resources. So we're going to start with our hands specifically. We use our hands so much in general, but especially in the health and in the hospitality industry. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to mute everybody. Let's see. Just before we get going. Okay. If you are not muted, go ahead and mute yourself. Think I can get you muted? Let's see. Okay, I'm struggling getting other people muted. If you're not muted, go ahead and mute yourself. Okay, so we're down in my basement, which is why this is not the most beautiful background scenery you've ever seen. But we're going to start with some tendon glides. Can you guys all see the tendon glide steps on the screen? Thumbs up. If you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is the most complex thing you guys will do all night. This is a 9-step process, which sounds so complex. I promise it's not. So go ahead and follow my hand movements. I'm just going to go ahead and do one at a time. So we start with flexed fingers. I'm going to scoot all the way up so you guys can just see my hands. Flexed fingers all the way out. Spread those fingers as far as you can. We're going to go ahead and turn those fingers in, just like you're trying to make a paw pad, like you're a dog. Go ahead and flex those fingers back out. Take a deep breath. And we're going to flex those fingers all the way in, like you're trying to make as deep of a fist as you possibly can. As you exhale, let's bring those fingers back out, flexing them all the way as flat as you can. Moving on to step 6, we're going to flatten those fingers just like you're trying to make a serpent, a snake out of that hand. Flatten those top fingers and flex them back out as wide as you possibly can. Let's make another fist here. Thumbs are all the way out. And go ahead and flex them back out as straight as you can. This may feel like nothing, but this movement, this tendon glide, it sounds like so much. It's a 9-step process. I totally understand. It makes such a huge difference to all of these little muscles in our wrists, in our fingers, in our forearm. I don't know how many of you guys have been rock climbing before, But if you've ever been rock climbing, the next day you're like, oh man, I didn't even realize I had muscles in here that are sore, you know? So keep in mind that that's really not any different than when you're working in the back of house, when you're grilling chicken, salmon, working at the fryers, you're chopping, any of that stuff. This Tendon Glide is so important, no matter what your team is doing. It can make a huge difference both before, during, and after the shift. So keep that in mind. One other thing I want to show you guys is wrist extension and flexion. I'm going to show you guys back on my mat. So if you guys come back, you'll notice I'm on. Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up. If you can hear me okay. Okay, good. Just making sure. So on that extension and flexion, if I'm back down on my knees, flexion, I'm going to put my hands out in front, just like I'm leaning on, just like I'm a dog. I'm leaning forward on those wrists, really enhancing that flexion right here. I've got extension going back. And if it's more comfortable to put your fingers towards your knees, whatever you feel is more comfortable right here. What you should be feeling, you should be feeling a good stretch down this forearm right here. Totally going to be dependent, whatever is more comfortable for your employees or for you, where you're at with this extension right here. That flexion, we're going to flip our hands underneath, opposite direction, right here. Same exact thing. You're sitting those hips back into the heels, wherever you're most comfortable right here. That flexion and extension is going to offer a lot of flexible support before, during, after your shift. And we did go through that tendon glide. All right. Moving forward, and feel free, you guys, please, to ask any questions at any point. Don't feel like this needs to be any sort of like seminar necessarily. You guys can totally ask questions and interrupt in between. We're going to move forward to some back mobility and flexibility. More often than not, what I hear from my managers and my hourly workers, I hear about a lot of back pain. I hear a lot about wrist pain, and I hear a lot about foot and ankle pain. So we're going to go through those specifically. But with back pain, with the service industry, we're going to specifically kind of talk about some lower back stuff, which includes your core. And we'll get to that, but let me actually stop this share really quick. Does this make me bigger? If I pin it, let's see. Okay. Does that make me bigger?
Yeah, makes you bigger.
Okay. All right. We love bigger. Okay. So one of the best moves you guys can be doing is this child's pose position. So you're going to come down on your knees. You're going to sink your hips into your heels. Totally up to you if you want your toes tucked or if you want them flat, whatever's most comfortable, okay? You're going to sink those hips into your heels. You're going to reach those hands as far forward as you possibly can. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. About 5 good deep breaths here. And I'm going to let you hang out here while you inhale and exhale. I want you to really take advantage of these deep breaths. Really nice, you guys. Let's go ahead and take one more good deep inhale. One more good deep exhale. As you come on out of it, we're gonna find this tabletop position. Hands are stacked under shoulders, knees are stacked under hips. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at our laces. So at this tabletop position, you're reaching to your left till you look at your left shoelaces and then to the right. We're getting a little flexion in the low spine. This should feel good after you get off of a long shift on your feet. Let's go ahead and get a couple more each direction. One more each way. This is one of those that my hope is that your team, your employees can do, you know, maybe not necessarily in the back of the kitchen or necessarily in your office, but if they want to do that outside of the back door or at their own home, whatever, I hope that that's a good one, that they can give themselves a little bit of relief in the low spine. Okay, and moving on to hips and shoulders. This is one of my all-time favorite moves. So this is called an open half kneel. So we're gonna scoot on back. I'm gonna show you guys both from the side or from the front as well as from the side. So similar to, if I call this like the promposal, like you're about to propose to somebody, but we're gonna open up that knee to the side. So if you're looking at me from the side, you can't even see you can't see the top of my head, excuse me. I don't even want you to be able to see my back foot because I don't want you to be too far in front, which is where I am now. Or if you're too far in back, where you can see my foot now, we don't want to be there either. We want to be right in line, that front foot with the knee. So front forwards, you can see my foot and my knee right here. We're going to press that knee into the wall behind you. You're going to drive that knee over the foot. We're going to go 5 times on one leg. You should feel a good opening up in the hip, the inner thigh. You're squaring off those hip bones just like you're a deer in the headlights. One last one here. Before you switch sides, we're going to bring that planted knee, the same hand down to the ground. We scoot on back. Down to the ground, you're still pressing that knee into the back wall behind you. You're going to open up into a T-reach. Look at your hand. Follow your thumb with your eye. 2 more. Keep pressing that knee behind you. Last one, best one. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and switch legs. Check that foot, make sure it's not in front or behind the knee. Pry that knee into the back wall behind you. Knee goes over the middle toe. Beautiful, you guys. Last one, best one here. Let's bring that opposite arm down. T-reach, follow that thumb with the eye. Two more. Last one, best one. Alrighty. Finish where you started. Nice work, you guys. Okay. So we're gonna work on some shoulders. Sorry, my shoe came untied. We're gonna work on some shoulders here. If you guys have any type of elastic band, or really, whoops, any type of elastic band, and you really don't need anything, you can totally do it without. I'm gonna do it kneeling so you guys can see. If you want to do it standing, that's a-okay. It's just that if I'm standing, you won't really be able to see me. So tall kneeling right here. You're gonna grab your band right here. You're gonna pin those elbows to your rib cage. So if you're doing it without any band, you're right here. Biggest point here is those elbows are pinned to the ribs. You're crushing that soda can between the shoulder blades behind the back. Let's go for 4 more. Stick with it. You guys got it. Last one, best one. Beautiful. All right. You guys can always add tension with any type of band or towel. If you don't have equipment at home, and nylon or tights, like I said, any towel, honestly, any tension you can find is seriously awesome. Okay, we're gonna work some core, which means I'm gonna share my screen again. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Here we go. And share. Okay, can you guys see why strengthen your core? Awesome. Okay, so in short, the physicality of your life will feel easier if you strengthen your core. There's a lot of reasons to strengthen your core. But strong core muscles truly make it easier to do a lot of activities, whether that be swinging a golf club, getting a glass from that top shelf, or bending down to tie your shoes like I just barely did 1 second ago. Honestly, anything. There are so many reasons to strengthen your core. Strong core muscles just make it so much easier to do a lot of activities. Weak core muscles can also leave you susceptible to poor posture, which we see all the time in the restaurant industry. How often do you guys see people waiting tables like this? I have a curved spine, so it's even easier to see myself like this. But lower back pain and muscle injuries you're going to be so much more susceptible to those if you have a weak core. So this is super, super important to strengthen your core muscles. Okay. Moving forward. Okay, with our core muscles, I know you guys have all probably done plank before, but I want to teach you guys a new type of plank called a hard style front plank. Some of you guys may have seen this before. Some of you guys may not be familiar with this, and that's okay. So, you guys have probably all seen this type of plank, this type of push-up hold right here, just like I'm about to do a push-up. But we're gonna come down not only to my elbows, but you'll see my heels are right close together, just like I've got a $100 bill in there, and you cannot rip it out. So knees are up. I'm gonna squeeze those elbows into my toes, and I'm gonna squeeze those toes into my elbows. This is called a hard style front plank. So you'll feel the difference between just a regular plank. Keep those hips You don't want them to sink, you don't want them to pike. You're right flat, just like you got a glass of water on your low back. You're squeezing here. We're gonna hold on for about 10 more seconds. If you're shaking, that's where the magic happens. Keep breathing. For 3, 2, and 1. Drop those knees. All right. Can you guys feel a difference between a regular plank and that hard style plank where you're tucking your elbows into your ribs and your toes into your elbows? Hopefully. There's a huge difference in those. So we're gonna do one other core move. And like I said, that one, you might not want to have your teammates be doing in the back of the kitchen necessarily. But hard style front plank is such an undervalued move that if you're doing that a few times a day or even a few times a week, honestly, it's going to make a huge difference to your core strength, which will, translate to your trunk strength. And there's so many different things, not just about how strong your abs are, but how strong your core is and your trunk is, whether that's rotating or anti-rotating or anti-extension, any of those things. So beyond that, we're gonna do one more ab move. How am I on time? Oh, 8 o'clock, okay, perfect. Okay, we're gonna do one more ab move, which is the exact opposite of plank. We're gonna do some dead bugs. So dead bugs, you're gonna lay down on your back exactly like you're a dead bug. So you're gonna find 90 degrees behind the knees, in front of the hips, and in front of the ankles. So right here, your arms are coming right up exactly like you're a dead potato bug, okay? You're gonna extend one knee and one arm right here and alternate each time. We're gonna go for about 30 seconds here. What I want you guys to pay attention to is that as your body starts to fatigue, as your core starts to fatigue, what your knees are gonna wanna do is your knees are gonna wanna start coming in closer to your chest. You're gonna wanna start closing up that angle, that 90-degree angle. So pay attention to that. Stop your knee from coming in. Maintain those 90 degrees. Let's go for 2 more each side. Last one, best one. Beautiful. Roll on up. Feel free to grab a sip of water. You guys.
Abby, yeah. On that dead bug, will you describe your back, like your lower back on that, so people's lower back doesn't hurt?
Yes, really good point. So on that dead bug, as you fatigue, so I mentioned you're gonna wanna pay attention to your angles. We got 90 degrees in front of your hips, 90 degrees behind the knees, and 90 degrees in front of the ankles. The other most important thing you wanna pay attention to is your low back right here. As I extend that knee, my low back wants to start scooping up. You wanna press that belly button into the ground, okay? That low spine is crushing into the back, into the ground right here. So there's no space. You can check yourself right here. There's no space between your low back and the ground right there. If there is, that's no problem. All that means is you're gonna keep that knee bent. You're gonna hold on to that 90 degrees behind the knee right here. Hopefully you can see that right there. Okay, really good point. Does anybody have questions on that dead bug? You feeling good to move on? Okay. All right, so moving on to legs specifically, I wanna specifically talk about our forward fold in our squat movement pattern, in our squat pry. So you're not gonna be able to see the top of my head because I'm not quite tall enough, but well, I want you to be able to see my ankles. So let's see. Okay, so moving back, you can't quite see the top of my head, but you can see, hopefully, my feet are about hip width distance apart, meaning hip width distance on the outside of my feet right here, not necessarily on the inside. So hip width distance on the outside, totally up to you as far as your feet are turned out versus parallel like you're on skis, right? Whatever feels best to your knees, that's what you should go for. Whatever feels best to your body, always trust that. So for me, that means I'm tilting my toes just a little bit out. My feet are hip width distance apart. I'm gonna come arms up. My arms are all the way straight. You can see Susie's arms a little bit better than mine because of my frame. We're gonna come down just like you're about to squat. Show me your chest, just like you're showing me the logo on your shirt. Those arms are up. Those elbows are gonna come down. If you can pry those knees apart, great. If not, totally okay. You're gonna hold on to those toes from the side. If your knees are bent, a-okay. You're just getting a stretch down those back legs, down the hamstrings. Arms come up in that squat position. Pry those knees as you squat to the top. Right here, you guys, here's the most important thing. I'm in a vertical plank. Right here, you can see I'm curving my body. My hips are a little bit too far forward. I'm exaggerating this. You want to be in a plank, just like you're down on the ground, and we're going to start again. Go ahead and fold on over to that forward fold. If your knees are bent, that's a-okay. You can drop your neck, drop your head. Go ahead and pry those knees in your squat position. Keep that chest up towards the sky. Arms come up. Let's reach to the top and squeeze. Check out those hips. Make sure you're not arching forward. Make sure you're in that plank. Let's go for 2 more times. Get that nice stretch down the back of the legs. Pry those knees apart. Check out that angle behind the knees. Where are you at? There's no reason to judge where you're at or criticize where you're at. Just take stock and squeeze at the top. 1 more. Get a good stretch down the back of the legs. Pry those knees. Show me that logo on your chest. Arms come up and squeeze at the top. Go ahead and shake it out. Nice work, you guys. All right, okay. All righty, this is one of my favorite ones. I'm gonna angle this forward just a little bit so you guys can see down here. All right. This one is called 90-90. I'm gonna show you guys 2 versions of this, just so you know what your options are. One is on the floor. I always joke that this is like a birthing position. So you're gonna come into 90 degrees behind the knees, okay? Right here, just almost like you're in a squat, but seated on the ground. You're gonna drop both knees to one side, all right? You got 90 degrees behind both knees right here. Beyond that, you're gonna reach the upper body down. If it feels better to reach it down towards the knee, or the ankle, whatever feels best here for you, okay? It's all up to your body, whatever feels good. You're gonna hang out here. While you're there, I'm gonna show you guys how to do this against the wall. So you're gonna find that figure 4 against the wall. So if you can see my legs, I've got that figure 4 right here. I'm pressing my knee into the wall in front of me. And I'm gonna drop to one side right here. Just to keep it even, if you guys have been on one side, go ahead and switch to the other. If you're up on the wall, go ahead and drop to the other. If you're down on the floor, go ahead and drop the knees to the other side and fold over. One more breath. When you're ready, roll on out of it. How am I on 10? Let's see. Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. Couple more things. Let me move this. Okay. All right. I want to hit neck, and I want to hit our ankles before we finish. So with our neck, this is a super common area, honestly, no matter what kind of job position you're in. But as far as hospitality workers go, I highly recommend that you find some type of super light weight, whether that is a kettlebell, a can of soup, a water bottle, honestly, anything. It doesn't have to be more than like 5 pounds. What I'm going to use is this. This is like a push-up thing. I mean, seriously, it weighs like 3 pounds. It really doesn't have to weigh hardly anything. So with me standing up in my super fancy studio, so you're gonna take whatever weight you have, and truly, like, in my professional opinion, the best weight to use is seriously a can of soup. You got a wide grip here. You're gonna hold on to one side, totally let your shoulder hang. That's your biggest goal, is imagine that you have a big weight on your shoulder blade hanging down, okay? Whatever hand you have the weight in, you're gonna pull your ear, your opposite ear, to the opposite shoulder. So right here, you're gonna pull that ear to the shoulder, let it hang low. As Creed from The Office would say, swing low, sweet chariots. And we're gonna switch arms. Go ahead and switch whatever weight you have in your arm. Let's bring the opposite ear to the shoulder. Let those knuckles hang low. Let the ear come down. Take a couple deep breaths there. And then we got one more move here. We're gonna work our ankles. We got 2 more moves here for our one area, which is ankles. So for ankles, my favorite thing is, and this really does get actually the whole back side of the body. We're gonna come into a down dog position. So let me actually angle myself down just a bit. So you're gonna start in a top of push-up hold position. So right here, I want you to imagine that I've got a rope under your hips, right here. I'm gonna pull them sky high to the ceiling. So your hips are going sky high. I want you to imagine that your shoulder blades are sliding right on down your back into your back pockets. If your knees are bent, that's totally fine. If your heels are on the ground versus up in the air, whatever feels good to your body, that's the priority here, is what feels good to your body. If you want to pedal the feet like I am now, awesome. If not, also awesome. If you want to bring one leg up, great. Just pay attention to what feels good to your body. Go ahead and take a couple more deep breaths. Let's roll on over one vertebrae at a time to that top of push-up hold. Let's lower down in that plank. Go ahead and arch up that low back. Squeeze the glutes. Let's go ahead and drive those hips back into the heels. Reach those palms forward. Take a few deep breaths as you come out of the movement. On those ankles, let's come back up to that top of push-up hold here. We're gonna rotate those ankles clockwise like you're a clock 5 times. Go ahead and alternate the rotation counterclockwise. Switch those feet when you're ready, 5 each direction. 2 and 1. Go ahead and bring it down. All right. You guys are awesome. We just hit every single joint group, every single muscle group when it comes to making sure we get movement and mobility, flexibility in all of those muscle fibers, joint groups, everything that we have. So I will send out a PDF document with all of these moves that we've gone through today. Honestly, I'm so grateful that you guys showed up tonight. I didn't think anybody was going to be honest. I just want you guys to know I'm really grateful that you guys showed up tonight. It means a ton to me that you guys would spend your evening with me. I realize we're a couple minutes past time. But I think this will make a huge difference to your team, to your work family, and really truly think about what percentage of your life do you spend with your work team versus your friends, your family, it's a big chunk of time. And so I really hope that you feel like this is valuable. And I really hope that you feel like this makes a difference to your team and to your life and to your own well-being and to how well you're able to thrive in your life. Like I said, I'll send out a PDF of the document that we kind of went through today. I recorded this, so this will also go out on YouTube. So as you guys bring on new team members, new employees, I hope that you'll direct them to this video so that they can see what kinds of bodily movements that they can be doing before, during, and after their front of house, back of house shifts that will make an impact on their lives. I really do believe that this will make a big difference. In my career, which is short-lived, in my career as somebody in the health and wellness industry, one of my biggest things I can say is that warm up and cool down is one of the most undervalued things in the health and wellness industry for sure. So if you guys add this to not only your workout routine, but your everyday routine, I promise, pinky swear, this will make a huge difference to your life. And your recovery. And I would love to be working with you guys one-on-one. Any of you guys that I'm not already, I would love to be working with you one-on-one. I totally believe in customized plans and workouts. If there's something that you're not seeing in your life that you would like to, I hope you'll reach out to me. I'm not an expert in everything, but I am an expert in setting goals and strategizing, all that stuff. So I hope that you'll reach out to me. I'm so grateful that you guys would spend this evening with me, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys soon.
Thanks, Abby. That was awesome.
Thanks guys.
Abby.
See you
See
soon.
ya.
Bye-bye.
Larissa said thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Tabitha.
Bye, Tabitha.
Patrick said thanks for the instructions. Appreciate it.
Okay, stripper pole lady. I'm like, where's your pole? Where's your pole, Susie?
I have too many layers on. It's like I had to take it off.
Oh, funny.
And I kind of forgot that I was on camera at the time. Abby, Abby entered the waiting room again. Abby, did you join?
Just connecting to audio.
Oh, it's still. Abby left. Okay. I guess I need to end this. I don't know why it picked up on my end that I'm the host.
Is it because it was your meeting?
Well, no, but I don't know why it said there was a meeting in progress.
Yeah. I don't know. That one's weird. I don't know that mistake. I don't know what that dealio is. That's
Yeah,
true.
I don't know what that was. So, and so I had to end that and start it. And I don't know. I'll let Abby figure out the recording side. So
Oh, it's still recording.
I know, right? So I hope she keeps no, she'll take this down.
I hope you take this part out.
This is where we need to say crap about everybody.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
So
okay.
what I was thinking, we're gonna have to go and do we'll do an office pull them out and make them do the hand stuff and the arm thing and the neck
Oh, yeah.
thing. And since they didn't join, but I don't know that they knew about it either. We're horrible about letting the accounting girls know about stuff. I always forget.
I sent them this morning a little thing.
Oh, good.
So I did, yeah. But I don't think they even noticed it, whatever. But no, we should
Yeah.
do that. That would be perfect. Because she's going to
Yeah,
send those
we'll do that.
instructions for the hand. And like they were saying, even today, I was reading somewhere with people on computers and kids on phones leaning. You know how we're bent over all the time at our neck?
Yeah.
You know, that it's like, that's like 64 pounds of pressure or something, the way that our body, oh, Abby's like, I don't see the download of the file. I'm like, because we're still recording. I'm going to stop it.
You probably would stop at this point.